With a spike in crimes being committed by teens, Madison police hope a new program will help keep kids out of trouble this summer.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is Thursday, May 16th, though I'm a little surprised because it kind of feels like June out there.
It does. Temperatures were well into the 70s yesterday, and we're headed back into the upper 70s today. That's the good news. The bad news is that we do expect a couple of rounds of showers and thunderstorms. Here's a live look from the WISC-TV Skycam. Definitely not as sunny as it has been the last couple of mornings. Clouds already rolling in ahead of those storms this morning. Alert days are in the forecast for today. And this is mainly for the potential for some showers and thunderstorms later on this afternoon and evening. The main severe threats would be hail and gusty winds. Now, I do expect the first round to move through between 9 and 11 here in Madison. We already see that on the radar map, just getting ready to push into the La Crosse and Toma areas this morning. Those showers and thunderstorms are expected to hold together long enough to make it into southern Wisconsin today, but no severe weather is expected this morning. There'll be a break in the rain, and then chances start to increase as we head towards this evening. Now, not a guarantee to see those showers and thunderstorms later today, but there is that chance. Our temperatures, though, will still be mild. Enjoy highs in the upper 70s this afternoon. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. Things have been pretty quiet so far, and looks like that trend continues right now. It is starting to get a little busier on Stoughton Road right around the belt line, but nothing to slow you down too much just yet. Looks like you're still going at posted speeds heading into Madison.
It's kind of weird. We haven't had a lot of severe weather potential to talk about yet this
so
season.
It's been pretty quiet so far this season, and it's typically these May storms, the air is still pretty cold aloft, so hail is a pretty big threat, mainly in the spring.
Right. Well, we know you'll keep an eye on it for us.
We'll be watching it today.
Thanks, Hattie.
You're welcome.
6:02 your time now. Lots of breaking news to get to this half hour, starting with the race for president. The field of Democratic candidates vying for the White House is at 23 this morning. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio just announced he's throwing his hat into the ring. De Blasio will start campaigning right away, with stops already planned in Iowa and South Carolina. Back in 2017, de Blasio became the first Democrat to be re-elected as mayor of New York City in more than 30 years.
Right now, the American Civil Liberties Union is planning a federal lawsuit against Alabama after the state's Governor Kay Ivey signed the most restrictive abortion law in the country. It outlaws virtually all abortions. Doctors who perform them could face up to 99 years in prison. It also does not include exceptions for rape or incest. Meanwhile, breaking overnight out of Missouri, where the state Senate there is passing their own abortion bill, banning abortions once a fetal heartbeat is detected. That can happen as early as 6 to 8 weeks of pregnancy. The only exception would be in cases of medical emergencies, but like Alabama, that does not include rape or incest.
In Wisconsin, the state Senate could take up a package of anti-abortion bills next month after they passed the assembly yesterday. That includes what's being called the Born Alive bill. The measure could send doctors to prison for life if they refuse to provide care for a baby following a failed abortion attempt. Governor Evers has already promised to veto the Born Alive bill if it passes the Senate.
Before yesterday's vote, the Assembly paused to recognize 13-year-old Jamie Kloss as a hometown hero. In a rare public appearance, Jamie herself was on the Assembly floor to receive that honor. She was kidnapped from her Barron home after witnessing her parents get killed and then held hostage for nearly 3 months in Douglas County. Jamie's aunt, Jen Smith, accepted the award and called Jamie's bravery and spirit inspiring. She thanked the community of Barron for their continued love and support.
Just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this morning, a firefighter injured in a shooting up in Appleton has died. It happened yesterday outside the Valley Transit Center, sending that firefighter, a police officer, and several others to the hospital. Officials initially responded to a medical call there when shots were fired after they arrived. They say right now there is no threat to the public, but officers didn't share any information about a suspect. Back in Madison, a school teacher is expected in court this morning over accusations that he slammed a door in a student's face. It's not clear at which school this happened, but the teacher, Christopher Rumbelow, is listed on Franklin Elementary's website as a gym teacher. The complaint says the student left the classroom after a disagreement and repeatedly slammed the classroom door. Then Rumbelow opened the door and the handle apparently hit the student in the forehead. A statement from the district reads, quote, "As soon as the incident occurred, the staff person was immediately put on administrative leave and will remain on leave while the criminal process is ongoing."
More local news at 6:05 this morning. Police in Sun Prairie are asking for your help identifying the people suspected of causing $30,000 worth of vandalism to the fire department's training facility. The first incident at the Angle Park training facility happened last Tuesday night, and another happened on Tuesday of this week. An official at the park says about 30 windows were broken. The damage could be a potential setback for several departments who use it. These are the photos of the suspects. Sun Prairie Fire and Rescue is offering a $500 reward for anyone who provides accurate information leading to an arrest. If you have any information, call Sun Prairie Police. You can see that number on your screen right now, 608-837-7336. All right, coming up on 6:06 right now on a Thursday morning, at-risk kids living in Madison will soon have a new group of people on their side, tutors.
Madison police are launching this new program, and officers are hoping it will help empower more kids in the classroom to keep them off the streets. Our Christina Laurie is joining us this morning to explain. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning. So after a spike in car thefts and burglaries at the end of last year, officers on Madison's west side were at a loss for what to do. That's when they put out a call to action asking for your donations to their community reading fund. And boy, did you answer. 6 months later, officers are now ready to put that program and your money to use. The new community reading fund will provide free tutors for at-risk kids. Those kids were identified by Madison officers last month based on a combination of arrest records and academic test scores. The idea is that the better these kids perform in the classroom, the less likely they'll be to skip class and stir up trouble.
Everyone knows the value of reading and making sure that our youth are at grade level. So a combination of the dollars that were donated and the spirit of the community to volunteer has just been amazing.
Police officers aren't the ones doing the tutoring, though. That's up to retired teachers, teachers looking for summer employment, and reading specialists who have all answered the call to help. Some will get paid for this, but others have simply offered to volunteer. If you're a qualified reading specialist interested in helping out, please reach out to the Madison Police Department's West District. I put their contact information up on our website. And if you're looking to help out financially, officers are actually not accepting more donations right now. They're pausing to implement this program this summer, and then they'll evaluate how it's been working in October or November of next year, and maybe you'll be able to give next giving season.
I feel like this is the epitome of that statement, it takes a village to raise a child. Everybody's getting involved.
And it's also kind of like that saying, too, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. If you teach him to fish, he'll eat for life. They're teaching invaluable skills.
I love that.
Yeah,
Love
good to
keep
see
an
the
eye.
community stepping up, too.
Right. All right, Christina Laurie reporting for us. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, guys.
All right, time right now is 6:07. So we've been trying to get outside and enjoy the sun the last few afternoons. That means, of course, using plenty of sunblock. But new research shows most of the sunscreens out there fail new tests proposed by the FDA. We'll ask our medical expert, Dr. Mara, how we can make sure we're safe this summer.
We probably won't need that sunblock over the next couple of days. Today's an alert day for the chance for thunderstorms in the forecast. Hattie's in next with what we can expect when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Good morning from the Hattie-O patio. A dry start right now, but some rain is on the way, and we're seeing those clouds move into southern Wisconsin as we speak. Today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin. Wanted you to be aware of the potential for some severe thunderstorms later on this afternoon into this evening. This first round of rain this morning is not expected to be severe. But later on today, if these storms develop, the main threats would be hail and gusty winds. Again, if is the key word there. It's not a guarantee that we're going to see that weather redevelop later today. Here's a look at the severe weather outlook for the region, and it does include far southern Wisconsin in that slight risk area, also the northern parts of Illinois. Look at what's happening on the radar map this morning, and you'll see a pretty solid line of shower and thunderstorm activity working its way through the Eau Claire area and Minneapolis region earlier this morning. Now just about ready to move into La Crosse and Tomah. It is expected to hold together long enough to make it through southern Wisconsin. So again, in a couple of hours, we'll start to see those showers and thunderstorms move into our viewing area. Here's a look at weather track. There are quite a few clouds, though, out ahead of that rain activity. So we're already starting to cloud over this morning. And you can see that on the WISC-TV Skycam. Hasn't been a very pretty sunrise for us this morning with those clouds streaming in. Temperatures, though, under the clouds are a little milder. 62 here in Madison and Lone Rock, 57 in Mineral Point, 64 in Prairie du Chien, 57 this morning in Janesville. Winds are from the south. They're expected to increase a little bit through the day today, so it will turn a bit breezy. Your future track forecast model has a pretty good handle on that rain this morning. Dry as you head to work, but between 9 and 11 o'clock, that's when we'll likely see that rain here in Madison. It does move through pretty quickly, though. By lunchtime, we already start to dry out. Breezy and quite mild this afternoon with highs in the upper 70s. Now, depending on the coverage and intensity of the storms this morning, that will dictate whether or not we can see some showers and thunderstorms redevelop this afternoon. This particular model, not too excited about that redevelopment, but there is a chance, especially in far southern Wisconsin and northern Illinois later today. Temperatures are expected to stay quite mild overnight, but Friday is going to be a breezy, wet, and chilly day. Temperatures will stay in the 50s tomorrow, so a good 20 degrees cooler than we are today. Looking at total rain through 7 p.m. on Friday, it's getting up between a ½ inch and 1 inch across far southern Wisconsin. We will add to those rain totals then through the weekend. Total rain through Monday morning, 1 to 3 inches for the area. So it looks like it is going to be a pretty wet weekend. Temperatures will at least warm from the 50s on Friday, back to around 70 on Sunday. Let's get a check on those traffic reports this morning. We'll send it over to Jason Stone for all the details. Good morning, Jason.
Good morning. Volume is building on the interchanges at Stoughton and Verona Road with no incidents. Drivers are making their way to the Beltline and moving at the posted speed limit. Congestion starting on Verona Road at Highway PD in both directions. Otherwise, routes into Madison and around Dane County are mostly clear. There is some congestion at South Blair and East Wash, but for the most part, traffic is light around the Capitol Square. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Jason, thank you so much, and Hattie, thank you as well. All right, coming up on 6:15 this morning. So both Lee and I love getting outside to take advantage of the outdoors in the summer, but new research shows about 2/3 of the sunscreens out there either don't protect against the sun or include harmful chemicals.
We've talked about this on the show before. Dr. Mandira Mehra from SSM Health is back with us this morning to talk about those findings. Glad to have you back with us.
Good morning. Glad to be back.
You know, I don't want to say that folks shouldn't use sunscreen, right? I mean, you still need protection.
Absolutely. So this is something that you want to be aware of, but definitely don't stop using that sunscreen, that sunblock. It's really important to remember that skin cancer affects more Americans than any other cancer out there. So this is still really important. And the number one thing we can do is protect, and prevention. But this is really interesting that the FDA is now going to come out and really evaluate most of the sunscreen products on the market. Interestingly, it showed so far in preliminary tests that over 60–70% of the sunscreens on the market either don't claim to have the protection that they say they do, or have some kind of chemical that may have potential harmful effects. And by that, I mean the skin is our largest organ. So obviously, if you're using a product on your skin, you're able to absorb some of those chemicals. Some of those chemicals now may have harmful effects to either our hormones, if you're pregnant, different types of things that are happening in the body. So this is not at all cause for alarm. Don't stop using that. but just be aware and make sure you're using something that is offering good coverage. So a lot of people aren't aware between the UVA, UVB, and SPF differences. SPF is simple for sun protection factor. That only covers the UVB protection. However, that doesn't tell you anything about the UVA protection. We really want to make sure we're looking for something that says broad spectrum on the product, hopefully water resistant. That means UVA and UVB protection. If you're really concerned, you don't want any chemicals, looking for something with zinc oxide that's natural and also doesn't really get absorbed into the skin is important, because then you're not really worried about all the other potential things that this article is pointing out.
Good tips there.
So the other thing we want to talk about this morning, obviously we're getting into the summer months.
Yeah.
And there's a new study out of the UK that says nearly 1 in 8 adults have suicidal thoughts about their body image. I mean, that's scary.
It is scary, and you know, we're seeing more and more studies like this. This study was actually out of Britain, as you mentioned, but we're seeing this in America and England, anywhere where really social media in general, continues to promote these images that may be unrealistic and really set a goal for us that are unattainable. So a lot of organizations are working together, like suicide prevention organizations, with social media, with media, to say, how can we encourage positive body images without making people really question, really doubt themselves, and have suicidal thoughts. I mean, in general, we always want to encourage having a healthy, happy lifestyle, but that, of course, also deals with having great mental health, feeling good about yourself, not looking at images and feeling potentially suicidal. It looked at ages 18 and older, so in 18 to 24, it was like 1 in 3 almost had thoughts of either injuring themselves, suicide, or really just having lower self-esteem issues. And then over the age of 55 is a little bit less. The question is it just because they're exposed to less social media, and perhaps the younger you are, the more social media, the more promotion of just images that, again, make you feel worse about yourself. So yes, we want people to really have that happy, healthy lifestyle, to be fit, to not encourage obesity by any means, but I think having realistic goals, having images that we can relate to is also a good thing.
All right, Dr. Mara, good to have you back with us this morning. We always appreciate it.
Great to be here.
Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, 6:18 your time now. If you wanted an idea of how Bucks crazy Wisconsin is getting, this next story should do the trick. There's actually a Milwaukee radio station banning a Toronto-born Grammy winner from its airwaves during the East Conference Finals. What?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that story. But first, we'll check in with Hattie, who's tracking the chance for severe weather. Oh my gosh, there's the polar bear. Her alert day forecast is up next on News 3 Now this morning.
Hi, buddy. Welcome back on this Thursday morning. We're laughing because I always claim that my hometown is Platteville, Darlington, Mineral Point, anywhere.
Southwest.
Everywhere.
Anywhere. But
Anywhere
it's sunrise
southwest.
like that? Well, this isn't
this
it.
is
That's downtown now. We're done with you.
Platteville sunrise, though. Beautiful today.
It is. Well, I actually started with that one. So if I walk over here, you can see the Queen Bee Radio Sky Cam. This is what it looks like in Platteville this morning. Red sky and morning. Sailors take warning. You know the old saying. There are some showers and thunderstorms that will spread into the area this morning. Here's a look at what's happening on the radar map. Dry here in Madison and the Dells, but getting pretty close to Camp Douglas now with some of those raindrops. There also are embedded thunderstorms within, but no severe weather. So here's some rumbles of thunder. No severe weather is expected this morning. Temperatures are still quite mild. If the kids are just waking up, it's another shorts day today. 62 in Madison, 57 in Janesville, 59 in Platteville, and 65 in Prairie du Chien. That's the warm spot this morning. Your bus stop weather forecast, though, says you'll need the umbrella today. Showers and even a few thunderstorms as you head to school. The rain should be diminishing by the lunch hour and then a little bit of a break as you head home, but high temperatures in the mid and upper 70s. There is the potential, though, for some redevelopment later on this afternoon into this evening. And that's your forecast.
Thank you so much, Hattie. A local pond next to a brewery is undergoing an innovative new treatment to reduce blue-green algae blooms.
Last year, the pond next to Wisconsin Brewing Company saw a bad algae bloom. Dane County hopes to prevent that from happening again, giving the city of Verona a $50,000 grant to clean up the water. The pond, nicknamed Lake Sadie Mae, was treated with an aluminum-based chemical, creating a cotton-like film that will clear up the water in just 24 hours.
We're really looking at cleaning the pond up from a safety perspective, and also it'll be a lot more aesthetic because by morning it should be crystal clear and not only beautiful but also safer for everyone who recreates in it, including dogs.
According to Public Health Madison, blue-green algae can make people sick if they swallow it or if it contacts their skin for a long period of time. For dogs, it can be fatal. Wisconsin Brewing Company wants the water to be safe for paddle sports this summer, plus ice fishing and ice skating in the wintertime.
That's really important because Wisconsin Brewing caters to dog owners. They allow dogs on the grounds inside the brewery, so you can imagine a dog would just jump into that pond.
Yeah, we were there just a couple of days ago.
We were.
And all the dogs out there, I would imagine, I mean, they love that. They love the water, so you got to think of like the safety for them as well.
There were people on kayaks and canoes out in the water that day, so this is a great option.
24 hours, they said it clears up. That's crazy.
Really smart.
All right, 6:24. The Milwaukee Bucks took Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals last night against the Toronto Raptors.
But while the series is going on, one Milwaukee radio station is banning a certain Toronto superfan from their airwaves.
You know what's not coming up? Drake.
Break from Drake! Break from Drake!
He does have a curse, and he's very vocal on the sidelines. He talks smack to players, and if you're going to do that, you're going to bring that into our house. We don't want any of that.
Okay, Kiss FM in Milwaukee will not be playing any Drake songs during the Eastern Conference Finals. The Grammy-winning rapper was born in Toronto and is a big Raptors fan.
Do you even know who Drake is?
No, I mean, if they were blocking Shania Twain from the airwaves, she's from Toronto, I believe, then we would have a problem here. But no country? Not paying attention.
I've been singing lyrics all morning and she's just clueless.
Way over my head. Yeah. When I drop the name Merle Haggard, though, guess who's the one who's lost? Yeah, who's Merle Haggard? We'll give you a lesson later. All right, 6:25 your time now. Still ahead, we are keeping an eye on breaking news out of Appleton this morning, where a firefighter was killed in a shooting during a medical call.
And President Trump is getting ready to announce his plan to overhaul the country's green card system. Today's top headlines and more local news coming up on News 3 Now this morning.
The state's highest court is hearing arguments from both sides of the aisle on the controversial lame duck session laws. We'll tell you when you can expect their decision.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now This Morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for staying with us on this Thursday, May 16th. Leah's chair is slowly, falling down, every little bit. It's like every moment I look over, I'm looking down at her. I don't know what's happening.
I'm hiding from the forecast that Hattie has today.
And that's where we find Hattie, out on the Hattie-O patio, hopefully not being too low out there, Hattie.
At least I don't have to worry about any chairs. Just standing in the same spot. Sorry that that's happening to you, Leah. We have a kind of an interesting forecast coming up for the next several days. Today is an alert day for southern Wisconsin. A couple of rounds of showers and thunderstorms are possible today. The first one this morning, not expected to be severe, but later on this afternoon into this evening, there may be some showers and thunderstorms redeveloping across parts of southern Wisconsin, and those could produce hail and gusty winds. So let's take a look at the radar map early this morning. Here's what we have coming at us early today. It looks pretty impressive. No severe weather right now and none expected as these showers and thunderstorms continue to push into southern Wisconsin. They are expected to hold together, so between 9 and 11 o'clock here in Madison, we'll likely see some of this activity. It will come to an end by the lunch hour, then a little bit of a break before those rain chances start to increase later this afternoon into this evening. Here's a look at your forecast as you head out the door this morning. Again, a lot of clouds already in the area. It's still going to be breezy and mild today with highs in the mid to upper 70s. Enjoy the warmth for one more day because it does turn significantly colder tomorrow. Here's a look at your first alert traffic maps this morning. No major issues on the Beltline, although it is starting to get a little slower on Stoughton Road right around the interchange with the Beltline. Otherwise, no accidents around southern Wisconsin. You're still going at posted speeds as you head into the capital city. You got that chair fixed, Leah?
I think so. I think we're okay now.
No promises.
No promises, though.
Trying to ride high on that higher temperature.
I'm with you. I like the 70s, but just one more day.
All right, Hattie, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, we start this half hour at the White House, where President Trump is expected to announce a plan to overhaul immigration later today. The plan was largely put together by the president's son-in-law, Jared Kushner. It creates a merit-based system that assigns immigrants points similar to what's used in Canada. More green cards would end up going to those who demonstrate high-level skills, degrees, and job offers. Young people and those who speak English would also have an advantage. Having family already in the country would carry less weight than it does right now. The plan won't be officially announced until this afternoon, but is already getting pushback from both sides of the aisle.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court is expected to rule by this summer on a lawsuit challenging laws passed during a lame duck session back in December that weakened the powers of the incoming Democratic governor and attorney general. The state's highest court heard oral arguments in that case yesterday. The conservative-leaning judges poked holes in the arguments of those who claimed the lame duck session was illegal. A Dane County judge had ruled in their favor in January, and Republican lawmakers are hoping the Supreme Court will overturn that decision. Lawyers for the Republican-controlled legislature argued lawmakers never adjourned last spring, so the lame duck session was legal.
In more local news this morning, you no longer have to go rummaging through your car for change in order to park on the street in Madison. All coin-only parking meters across the city have now been removed and replaced with smart meters. They can also accept credit and debit cards now. Eventually, you'll also be able to pay with your cell phone. The city hopes to have that up and running with smart meters by the end of the year. 6:33 right now. We first told you about the Madison Police Department's Community Reading Fund last November when it was just an idea.
Such a neat idea at that. Now officers are getting ready to put it into action, and it could make a big difference in keeping kids off the street and out of trouble. Christina Laurie is joining us this morning with an update. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, guys. Police are calling this huge for the community because they say there are several kids that are just one decision away from completely ruining their life or others. Officers say they also know those kids are deficient in reading skills, and they're confident if they enhance those skills, they'll avoid crime, make better decisions, and live better lives. This won't just be any reading program. It's well thought out. Officers say they learned that they can't just let anyone teach someone else how to read. There's a set program tutors will follow. It's the same protocol followed in local schools already. Tutoring will start this summer at area churches, neighborhood centers, and schools. Local officers are really excited to see their ideas put into action.
That's kind of the mantra of getting into police work in reality, is you want people, you want officers helping people, and that's the whole goal of this program, is what can we do to help others.
Now, police officers aren't the ones doing the tutoring. That's up to retired teachers, teachers looking for summer employment, and reading specialists who have all answered the call to help. Some of them will get paid for this, but others have simply offered to volunteer. So if you're a qualified reading specialist interested in helping out, please reach out to the Madison Police Department's West District. If you're looking to help out financially, officers are actually not accepting more donations right now. That's good news, though. They're pausing to implement this program this summer, and then they'll evaluate how it's been working in October or November of next year. They've already collected more than $25,000 for this.
It's pretty impressive how much the community has stepped up, whether it's in donations or those retired teachers offering to tutor.
And Lieutenant Hansen, who you heard from there, he is so proud of this program. It was his brainchild, and he's really excited to get to work. He said it's one of the reasons he got into police work in the first place, because he loves things like this.
It'll be interesting to see where this goes here in the future, since this is really only the beginning.
It is. So we'll be following it. Stick with us.
Christina Laurie reporting for us. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you, guys.
All right, it is 6:35 right now. It's getting really easy to get caught up in the Bucs fever. I don't know if we're ready to boycott Drake over the Eastern Conference Finals like some radio stations, but we are still excited.
The series is off to a good start with a hard-fought win in Game 1 over the Toronto Raptors. I'm getting my words screwed up. I'm so excited. Our Kevin Lewis has all the reaction from Milwaukee when News 3 Now This Morning returns. All right, Kevin must know I am a sucker for a sunrise over a farm. Isn't that a gorgeous shot? This is out of Argyle. Thank you so much for sharing, Kevin. What does your morning look like? Take a picture, post it on our Facebook page or on Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning so Josh and I can find and share our favorites. All right, 6:39 on your Thursday. The Bucks have a well-deserved day off today after last night's big win against the Raptors to start off the Eastern Conference Finals.
It took a comeback, but the Bucks pulled it out with a 108-100 win in Game 1. Kevin Lewis has reaction from Milwaukee.
The Bucks started just 6 of their first 34 from three-point range, but Coach Bud's message to his team is let it fly, and they did. In the fourth quarter, the Deer hit 5 of their 10 shots from beyond the arc. They stole momentum in the fourth quarter and take a big 1-0 lead in the series.
I think we're got a lot of guys that are capable, that can contribute, that, confident on both ends of the court. I think it speaks a little bit to the character of the group. They just stick with it. I think it's become a little bit of a theme in the playoffs. I think eventually, hopefully, we feel like if we stick with what we're doing, good things will happen for us.
I think we need games like this because not every game going to be a blowout. Not every game going to be easy. So, we're going to go back tomorrow, watch the tape, try to get better, and I think this game definitely made us better.
Giannis Antetokounmpo said the goal was to not have a repeat performance of Game 1 in their series against the Celtics. It was close there, but they did not. They did enough in the end to win. Now, I've covered and gone to many games in the Bradley Center and the Fiserv Forum, and Malcolm Brogdon's dunk that made it 96-91 in the fourth made it about as loud as it's ever been in either building during the playoffs. Game 2, 7:30, Friday night, right back here at the Fiserv Forum. In Milwaukee, I'm Kevin Lewis. News 3 Now this morning.
Pretty exciting. All right. Thank you, Kevin. Well, it might be a good weekend to stay in and watch the Bucks. Hattie says thunderstorms could be moving in today and last through the weekend after this gorgeous sunrise, though. She's in next with our Alert Day forecast.
But first, it is May 16th, and we want to say happy birthday to Corbin, Kobe, Griffin, and Bodie, and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 Now this morning.
All right, the threat of raindrops that doesn't seem to bother the polar bears at the Henry Vilas Zoo this morning.
Stressful life there, huh?
Boy, you cannot miss breakfast. Very important meal of the day, and these two know it.
They look hungry. I'm hungry.
Hattie's going to talk a little bit about those raindrops, the chance for thunderstorms coming up in a little bit. Bye, buddies. All right, 6:44 your time now. A family in Cottage Grove is living proof that time can be a game changer.
Katrina and Jeremy Jones took their son Colton to a baseball game last week. After the third inning, a baseball came flying towards Colton's head at 80 miles per hour, fracturing his skull. Within moments, Colton was med-flighted to the UW hospital where he had an emergency neurological surgery. His parents didn't know if he would make it, but after 2 days, Colton woke up and made a miraculous and speedy recovery. Colton made it home.
I was just so thankful that there were people there to help save our son. Because, I mean, I think time was a pretty critical thing.
The family is asking for help in paying for Colton's medical bills, and if you'd like to help out, you can find a link to the GoFundMe on our website, channel3000.com.
Now, you can't understate the help from the community there, but wow, the resilience of that young man, very impressive.
Very impressive. All right, over to Hattie, who's tracking the potential for some severe weather today, Hads.
I am looking at the potential for some severe thunderstorms, not this morning, but later on this afternoon. Here's a live look from the Edgewater Skycam. Just cloudy skies here in Madison, but today is an alert day. The main threats would be hail and gusty winds, again, later on this afternoon into this evening with that shower and thunderstorm development. We are watching some storms, though, this morning. There's a slight risk for severe weather for the southern, about quarter of the state. That marginal risk does extend into central Wisconsin. Here's what's happening this morning. You may see it getting a little darker to the north, and this is why. There's a line of thunderstorms tracking through the central part of the state. The movement on these is to the south and east, and they are expected to hold together, making it into Madison probably between 9 and 11 o'clock. They'll quickly then slide south and east of the area. We are starting a very wet weather pattern. Here's the GFS future track forecast model this morning. With the rain to the north, it pushes through southern Wisconsin. We get a break, but then there is the potential for some redevelopment across the far southern part of the state or northern Illinois. Now, the exact placement of that second round of rain today still has a few question marks surrounding it. It depends on the rain this morning. Our future track forecast model then heading into Friday shows some development early Friday to our south along a front. That front slowly lifts to the north through the day on Friday, keeping the rain chances in the area. And unfortunately, we can't escape the rain on Saturday or Sunday as well. It looks like Saturday night through Sunday could be a pretty wet period for southern Wisconsin. Adding up all the rain from today through Monday morning, general 1 to 3 inch rain total is expected across southern Wisconsin, so a lot of rain on the way. Just clouds this morning, but grab that umbrella as you head out the door. Temperatures are in the 60s and 50s, 57 in Watertown, 62 here in Madison. The warm spot is Prairie du Chien with 65 degrees this morning. Dew points are in the 50s, not terribly humid right now, but as we go into the afternoon, that warmer air starts to move into the region. Those dew points creep into the low 60s. You'll probably notice some of that humidity later on today. Your future track forecast model zoomed in on southern Wisconsin, showing you that rain pushing through south central Wisconsin right around 10 o'clock this morning here in Madison. By lunchtime, quieting down. Now, this particular model, not too excited about some redevelopment later today. It hints at the possibility for a few thunderstorms to pop up later on this afternoon and then overnight tonight as well. Temperatures will drop into the 50s overnight and then stay in the 50s on Friday. Take a look at your extended forecast then. After a wet day on Friday, we have more showers and thunderstorms on Saturday and Sunday, but it won't be as cold. We'll be in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees once again. Here's our pet walk forecast. This is Takor. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Beautiful coloring on the face there.
Look at the spots.
Yeah, pretty neat. I think you can dodge some raindrops today for a walk at 3. Tomorrow might not be as easy.
Please, Hattie.
I'll take him for a walk, no problem.
All right, Hats, thanks.
You're welcome.
Coming up, this morning sprint. Stay with us here on News 3 Now this morning.
6:52, time for the morning sprint as our team gives you everything you need to know to start your day.
That includes an alert day in the forecast for southern Wisconsin, but we start with breaking news out of Appleton. That's where a firefighter is dead after being shot while responding to a medical emergency. It happened at a transit center in downtown Appleton last night. A police officer and several other people were also hurt. The fire department is not naming the firefighter at this point, but says they were a 14-year veteran of the department.
Authorities in Sun Prairie are looking for people responsible for vandalizing the fire department's training facility, causing $30,000 in damage. The first incident at the Angle Park training facility happened last Tuesday night, and another happened on Tuesday of this week. An official at the park says about 30 windows were broken. These are surveillance photos of the suspects. Sun Prairie Fire and Rescue is offering a $500 reward for anyone who provides information leading to an arrest. If you know anything, call Sun Prairie Police.
At-risk kids living in Madison will soon have a new group of people on their side, tutors. The Madison Police Department's new program is about to begin, and officers are hoping it will empower more kids in the classroom and keep them off city streets. Lieutenant Mike Hansen came up with the idea of a community reading fund after a spike in burglaries and car thefts back in 2018. Madison officers collected more than $25,000 to pay for those tutors, which will help lower performing at-risk youth. Retired teachers, reading specialists have all answered the call to help. Tutoring will officially begin when school lets out next month.
Thank you, Christina. A Madison teacher is expected in court this morning over accusations he slammed a door into a student's face during an argument. That teacher, Christopher Rumbelow, is listed on Franklin Elementary's website as a gym teacher. A criminal complaint says Rumbelow slammed the door and hit the student in the face with the handle after an argument in class. He is currently on leave from the school district.
And I'm watching some showers and thunderstorms now that are just beginning to push into central and southern Wisconsin through La Crosse area up towards Toma. They will continue to track to the south and east through the morning, making their way to Madison between 9 and 11 o'clock. Now, there is a slight risk for severe storms later today into tonight across far southern Wisconsin. There will be a break in the precipitation activity. One round this morning, another round possible later on this afternoon.
Patty, thank you. President Trump is scheduled to announce an overhaul to the way green cards are awarded later today. The plan creates a merit-based system that assigns immigrants points, similar to what's used in Canada. More green cards would end up going to those who demonstrate high-level skills, degrees, and job offers. Young people and those who speak English would also have an advantage. The plan is already getting pushback from both parties in Congress.
Vice President Mike Pence will be in Wisconsin today to tout President Trump's U.S.-Mexico trade agreement. The vice president will take part in a roundtable discussion at a manufacturing company in Eau Claire. From there, he'll visit Fort McCoy near Sparta to meet with military members and their families.
The ACLU says it plans to sue over Alabama's new law that virtually bans all abortions in that state. That law includes no exceptions for cases of rape or incest and would punish doctors who perform abortions with up to 99 years in prison. Overnight, Missouri's state legislature passed its own abortion law, banning them once a heartbeat is detected. That effectively bans abortions after about 8 weeks of pregnancy.
In Wisconsin, the state Senate could take up a package of anti-abortion bills next month after they passed the assembly yesterday. That includes what's being called the Born Alive bill. The measure could send doctors to prison for life if they refuse to provide care for a baby following a failed abortion attempt. Governor Evers has already promised to veto the Born Alive bill if it passes the Senate.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court is expected to rule on a lawsuit by this summer challenging laws passed during a lame duck session in December. Those laws weakening the power of Democratic Governor Tony Evers and the Attorney General. The state's highest court heard oral arguments in that case yesterday. The lawsuit claims the session was illegal, but lawyers for the Republican-controlled legislature argued lawmakers never adjourned last spring, so the lame duck session was legal.
There is a reminder out this morning for drivers to be extra careful on the roads during construction season. This comes after 2 fatal accidents happened within an hour of each other this week. We told you about those crashes yesterday, one in Columbia County and another in Sauk County on Tuesday, both in construction zones. The DOT says last year there were more than 3,000 crashes in construction zones alone, resulting in more than 1,000 injuries and 9 deaths.
You no longer have to go rummaging through your car for change in order to pay for parking on the street in Madison. All coin-only parking meters across the city have now been removed and replaced with smart meters that can also accept credit and debit cards. Eventually, you'll also be able to pay with your cell phone.
All right, 6:56 your time now. Let's turn it over to Jason Stone with a look at your first alert traffic.
Drivers are making their way to the Beltline with only minor delays at the interchanges and are moving at the posted speed limit once on the highway. And only light congestion on John Nolan near Lakeside and also at North Shore Drive. With your first alert traffic, I'm Jason Stone.
Thanks so much, Jason.
And it is cloudy now here in southern Wisconsin. Here's a live look from the Edgewater Skycam out over Lake Mendota. We're looking at some rain that will be moving into the area this morning. Here's a live look at Doppler track showing you those showers and thunderstorms beginning to move into our far northwestern viewing area. They'll continue to track to the south and east. No severe weather is expected this morning, but there's a chance for some more showers and thunderstorms to redevelop later today.
All right, Hetty, thank you. Keep an eye on that forecast. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. In the meantime, make it a great day.